Hey guys, this is Chris here. Just want to bring you a video. We're gonna give you an update on the parakeets, as well as this video will be titled as Breeding Parakeets 101 and how to breed them. I've had a lot of people ask me, an update on the parakeets. I've had a lot of people asking me when I'm gonna do a video on how to breed the parakeets. So I figured they're all flying up there. I figured I'd let them start breeding for a little bit first and then I can give you guys an update on how they're doing. We'll give you some pictures of some of the chicks that we have in the nest and how they're all doing. So really what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start off at the beginning, kind of give you the origin of the birds, their demeanor. Are they a beginner bird? Are they for the more experienced breeder? And then just some simple tips on how to breed them, how to pair them up, what to do when the chicks are in the nest, what to do once the chicks fledge, that sort of thing. So hopefully this will be of value to you guys, especially any of you beginning breeders out there. Hopefully this will help you out. So just to start off, so this is a parakeet. Many people know them as Budgies. Many people know them as the Budgie. I've heard a few different names from them, but most commonly they're usually called a parakeet. They are from Australia, kind of the grassland areas. They do live in flocks. They're a very social bird. So if you guys are ever considering getting a parakeet, and you're not gonna play with them a whole lot, I would suggest you get at least two. You can have two females or two males, or if you want to try and breed them, a male and female, that's just fine. All of them would get together. I would advise that if you don't want to breed them, I would get either two females or two males so that they have a companion. The noise level on the parakeets, they're a moderate noise level. They're just constantly chattering and jabbering back and forth. They're pretty quiet right now, but if I be quiet, you can hear them. We got our male up there trying to court the female. She's not interested in him. As you can see, she'll probably peck at him to push him away if he gets too close. See that? So that means she doesn't like him. She's actually paired up with this green male. Anyways, the noise level of the parakeets is semi-moderate, so if you have them indoors, I would expect probably a continuous noise volume for them for the most part. This is about as loud as they get. They don't get too much louder, so they're fairly quiet birds. They come in many different colors. The most common colors are green, blue, white, and yellow. As you can see, I have all of the colors except for like an all yellow bird. I have blue and whites, I have greens, I have blue, I have an all white. And there's many other different color forms, but those are the four main types of colors. There are some violets and different shades of blue and kind of a purplish colors throughout. But so yeah, those are about the color forms of them. Their lifespan, if you provide good care, you probably have a good chance of your bird living up to about 10 years. So they can definitely give you many years of relaxation or fun or joy, however you're planning to use these birds and have them. So they do have a decent lifespan. I'm trying to think anything else. How to tell male and females apart. So if you can look here, let me see if I can zoom in, and I'll post a picture as well that will show a male and female. But your male, we'll go up there, see him courting. So your males have a blue nair, that's the nostril, the nose. So it's blue. We'll go down to him, he's looking at us, see how his is blue. And then if you look up the female, she's on the far left. She has kind of like a brownish, tannish color. So that's the female. So parakeets are sexually dimorphic. Usually parakeets will come into sexual maturity within, 3 to 6 months after fledging. Babies are a little bit harder to tell just because they haven't developed yet, and their nostrils or their nares are kind of just like a light brown color all around in general. So so those are your males and females. So as far as breeding, so let's get into what to do to breed these guys. So I have mine set up in a colony setting. So you can do a colony setting, or you can do individual breeding. Just set them up in single pairs per cage. They're pretty easy birds to breed, so you can be successful both ways. I have several pairs, and they don't get along very well with smaller birds. They're a little bit more invasive. They're a little bit more pushy. So I decided to keep these guys all separate and just put them all together, not put them with any other birds. And so that's why I did a colony setting here. I do have 3 pairs, so I have 3 males and 3 females. One thing I did do before I put them all together is the pairs that I wanted to bond, I put them together in individual breeding cages for about 2 months so that they had a chance to bond with each other. And then I threw them all in here together. And that seemed to work out fairly well for me. I do have, the 2 green birds there, I had them paired up. And then my dark blue one on the very back right and the white one there, you can see I had them paired up. And then I have my blue and white pied with this female blue and white pied all paired up. So they seem to have maintained those pairs. My green pair, you can see the hen, she's sitting on her nest box. She has 2 chicks in there. And I'll throw a picture in for you guys to see. Then here on the far right is my white and blue Parakeets pair, the all white hen and the blue male. And they have 4 eggs, and I'll put a picture up there so you guys can see that. And then my pied blue and my pied female, they have paired, but I don't think my female was quite ready to breed yet, so they haven't done anything. She has been preparing that nest box there on the far left. She's been going in and out and kind of moving the nesting material around. So I'm expecting some eggs from her very soon. As far as nesting material goes, many times the parakeets will just lay on the bare bottom of the nest box. I did put some aspen shavings in the nest box, and just maybe like 1 handful, very minimal amount, and they kind of chew it up and move it around how they like, and then they lay their eggs. So they don't need a whole lot of nesting material, so don't worry if they don't build a nest. That's okay. That's not what they typically do. So as far as courting goes, so you have a male and female. Your male will constantly be trying to court the female. Constantly. If he's healthy and in condition, it's almost to a point where they just don't leave him alone. And sometimes I feel bad for the females, but they seem to take it. They seem to be okay with it. The male's always constantly trying to talk to her face, trying to preen her, trying to push her around. And once the female becomes responsive, how you can tell is she allows them to do that. She allows them to preen them. She allows them to kind of kiss their faces and jabber, kind of how you can hear them jabbering right now. So that's a good sign that they've accepted them. Also, they'll perch or sit next to each other really closely. That's also a good sign that they've accepted each other as a mate. And the best sign that you can see is if they're feeding each other. If they're feeding each other, then you know that they are a bonded pair, and they probably have eggs or chicks in the nest. That's a really good indication that they have babies. When they lay eggs, the hen, she'll lay 1 egg every other day. Typically they'll have about 4 to 5 eggs. They usually won't start sitting on the nest until about the 2nd or 3rd egg is laid, and then they'll start sitting. your eggs should hatch within around 18 days. You know, typically it's about 16 to 19 days, depending on how well they sit on them. So you can expect chicks then. And usually while the hen is sitting or has small chicks in there, the male will feed the hen. He'll come to the nest box feeder. And really the only time that the hen will come out is to go to the bathroom many times. But they usually spend quite a bit of time in there, which is good. You want them to do that. So, or if you come in and bug them like I'm doing, lots of times they'll come out. So if I were to go away, my white, she's gonna go back in the nest now. She's got really young chicks. I know she's wanting to get back on them and keep them warm. Hopefully she'll go in while I'm talking here. Your chicks take, you know, about 3 weeks to get feathered up and to fledge. Once they've fledged out into the aviary or into their cage, it's usually about another 2 to 3 weeks until they're weaned from the parents. And so once you know when your chicks are weaned, they should be eating and drinking water on their own. Then you know that they can feed themselves and you can separate them. Some simple tips for your parakeets. Like I said, they're pretty easy breeders. And not a whole lot needs to go into their care. You know, if you're breeding them individually, make sure you have a big enough nest box. This is a parakeet size nest box, which is bigger than a finch nest box, right? So get that size, put that inside the cage or hang it on the outside of the cage where they can get access to it and know that it's there and be able to, there we go, the mama's, she's probably gonna go back in there, and be able to let them nest, give them a few weeks. You know, if you got 2 new parakeets that you put together, it's probably gonna be 1 to 2 months before they bond and probably another 1 to 2 months before they breed. So be patient. Don't expect eggs within the first week. I did not get eggs from these guys. Probably it's been what, 4 months now since I've had them, and we're finally getting eggs and chicks. So be patient. Just because they are a beginner bird or considered an easy bird to keep and breed doesn't mean they're just gonna breed instantly for you. Also, your hens and males, they need to be in breeding condition. When your males are in breeding condition, I was gonna go down and show them, but they just flew up. Their blue nose will become really shiny and glossy and almost a darker blue. So that's a good indication that they are in breeding condition and ready to breed. Your hens, their nose, when they're not in breeding condition, is kind of a lighter brown. When they go into breeding condition, it becomes a dark clayish brown. That's a good sign that they're ready to breed. You can see this hen, hers is kind of like a dark red color. If we go up, you probably won't be able to see her nose up there, but hers is like a dark pink reddish color as well. So your females, their nose will change a little bit when they're in breeding condition. So if their nose is really light in color, they're probably not in breeding condition. And if your male's noses are really light blue and not very glossy or shiny, they're probably not in breeding condition also. Parakeets are pretty easy and willing to let you check the nest. I have checked their nests a couple times and they'll go back in and feed their babies. As with any bird, don't be too pushy and don't be looking in the nest every second of the day, because that will annoy them and that will make them not feel safe, and they may abandon their nests. But they are okay with occasional checks just to make sure you can see how the chicks are doing or how the eggs are doing. You should be fine that way. Their diet, so you can see here, I do have some egg food. So the green male and the blue male both have chicks in the nest, so they're itching to eat this egg food and feed it to the babies, and I'm bugging them here, but we're about done. So I do give egg food when they have eggs and chicks in the nest. I give egg food every day at that time. When there's not any eggs or chicks in the nest, I usually give egg food probably about 2, maybe 3 times a week. And then the seed diet that I have is a mixture of small seeds, and you can see that I do have some dried fruit chunks in there. The parakeets seem to actually enjoy those, and I see them chewing on them quite a bit, which is a really good sign. And there's also some pellets in there for some extra vitamins and minerals. Parakeets are really easy eaters, and they'll usually eat most things that you'll put into the nest, so that's good. So keep that in consideration. Try and feed them anything healthy as much as you can, as far as greens or veggies and dried fruits. They love the fruits and the veggies and that sort of thing, so that's good to feed them while they have eggs and chicks in the nest. Leave some comments down below if you guys have any other questions or would like me to talk about anything else on the parakeets. We will have a lot more videos coming, and we'll follow we'll follow along with the development of the chicks. As of right now, we have 6 chicks. It looks like there's a couple more eggs that will be looking to hatch, hopefully. And then hopefully our third pair, our female, she'll start laying eggs here soon, and we'll get some chicks from her as well. So appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you have a great week. Hopefully your birds are healthy and strong. Hopefully they're keeping you guys busy and giving you lots of babies. And we'll see you guys next time.